Hello, my name is Brandy Phillips, and in this video, I plan to discuss the time and stress management and organization skills that were discussed in Chapter 3 of our textbook. Later on in the video, I'll discuss Chapter 4, Etiquette and Dress. Chapter 3 begins by talking about stress and its impact on work performance. What is stress? It's the body's reaction to tense situations. Stress can affect productivity, and it is influenced by self-care issues like diet and exercise, and other organizational issues like time management. It can result in mental and/or physical harm. Not only can stress keep you challenged mentally, it can begin to affect both your work and your personal life. There are different types of stress. There's positive stress. Positive stress is a productive stress that gives you the strength to finish a task, but it can become negative if it continues to become problematic. Then there's negative stress. It causes you to become emotional or illogical. This type of stress may affect mental and/or physical health. So how do you handle stress? First, you should find out what is causing the stress. Then, discover what your reaction is to the stressor and why it is that you act that way. Next, you should take steps to handle the stress and focus on responding positively to the stressor. Then, you should practice positive stress relief. Some common tips for stress relief are diet and exercise, making sure that you get 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night, and other physical activities like leisure time and deep breathing exercises. Recognizing what causes stress and becoming better organized can help relieve stress. Also, you should keep your emotions in check whenever you're around stressful people. Take time outside of work to relax and don't bring your troubles home with you, nor should you take your troubles to work. There are also programs sometimes available through work, like the EAP. They are there to help alleviate the stress. Some people experience job burnout. That is a form of extreme stress causing lack of motivation and no longer desiring to work. Signs of burnout include being habitually late or absent from work, constant complaining and gossiping, showing signs of poor physical and emotional health, having a don't care attitude, watching the clock and becoming easily distracted, not being satisfied, and sometimes even desiring to cause harm to the company through theft or property damage. And if you experience job burnout, you must determine the source for that burnout, and then you should take the steps to deal with it. There is a clear link between stress and time management. In business, time is money. The ability to use time wisely is a skill in itself, one that is necessary in the workplace. The key to work efficiency is to manage time wisely by being more organized. And here are some organization and time control tips. First, make a list of tasks for each day and prioritize that list. Keep a calendar. Organize your work area and computer files using file folders and inboxes. Practice a one-touch policy by filing it or throwing it away and not letting things stack on your desk. Answer memos that only require a short response by writing on the memo and then copying it. You can avoid time wasters, and you don't need to get distracted. Set aside time each day to address all of your communication. And then finally, ask for help. Don't procrastinate. Procrastination means putting off tasks until later. It obstructs your time management and it contributes to stress. It can lead to loss of opportunities, as well as money, respect, and success. To overcome procrastination, you must first visualize completed tasks. Knowing the end result will motivate you. Make a plan for completion by determining needed resources. List every activity and piece of information needed and then get to work. Break the plan down into smaller tasks and prioritize their order. And then finally, complete the tasks. Sometimes it can be hard to say no. A big issue contributing to both stress and poor time management is the inability to say no to coworkers, bosses, and others. When asked to assist with a project, evaluate if the project is a part of your primary job duties. You need to evaluate if you have the time and if it interferes with your priority duties. Only then should you agree to take on the new project. And if you do not have time and you have other priorities, simply decline the project. And if your boss is the one making the request, politely explain that you would gladly help, but that you're working on another important project, and then ask them which one should take precedent. So here's a recap of stress and organizational do's and don'ts. Do recognize stressors. Deal with stress appropriately. Eat a balanced diet and exercise. Set priorities to manage your time, and then take the time necessary to get organized. Don't let stress make you sick. Don't think stress will just go away on its own. Don't skip breakfast. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And don't give in to time wasters. Chapter 4 discusses the proper etiquette in dress in business meetings and at work. As an employee, you represent the company. Your communication, dress, and behavior determine how others perceive you. You should consistently demonstrate proper etiquette and protocol in business, dining, and social situations. You should have an executive presence, which is the attitude of an executive by demonstrating appropriate behavior. It shows employers that their employees know appropriate workplace behavior and will use good professional manners. Your appearance says a lot about you, especially at work. Your maturity and the importance you place on your job are reflected in the way you dress and behave at work. So your appearance and behavior are very important. One of the first steps to determining appropriate attire for work is to identify your company's dress code. The dress code is a policy addressing issues such as required attire, uniforms, hairstyle, undergarments, jewelry, and shoes. And once you have identified what your organization considers proper attire, begin to create a work wardrobe. A work wardrobe are the clothes you primarily wear to work and other work-related functions. Many companies allow casual work days, and these are days when companies relax their dress codes. However, you should still dress appropriately. Regardless of the dress code, there are basic dress and hygiene tips to follow, like shower daily, use deodorant, use cologne sparingly, and avoid overpowering scents. Clothes should fit properly and be cleaned and ironed, not torn. And don't wear sweatpants to work. Hair should be clean, well kept, and natural colored. Your hairstyle should reflect profession. You should avoid fad hairstyles and unnatural colors. You should practice good dental hygiene by brushing and flossing your teeth and schedule regular dental checkups and cleanings. Your hands and nails should be clean and well groomed. Unnaturally long nails are inappropriate. Polish or artwork should be neat and conservative. And jewelry should be kept to a minimum. It should complement your outfit. And you should not wear distracting or noisy jewelry. And you should avoid large or gaudy items. Shoes should be in good condition. They should be polished and scuff-free. And flip-flops are inappropriate for work, and so are hoodies. Also, you should not wear sunglasses indoors. And earbuds worn should not be visible. When dressing for work, your goal is to draw attention to your professional qualities. And here are some tips for women to follow. Your heels should be kept in good condition and they should not be too high. Sandals and open-toed shoes may be worn when they're worn appropriately. Nylon should be free of runs and snags. And socks should be a solid color and they should match your outfit. Makeup should be minimal, avoiding colors that are unnatural or distracting. Heavy eyeliner or eyeshadow should not be worn, and you should wear natural color lipstick, not bold. Clothing should not be suggestive. There should be no visible cleavage or bare midriffs. Undergarments must be worn and must not be visible. Skirts should not be shorter than knee length. Men's business attire should follow certain guidelines also. Their shoes should be polished and scuff-free. Their shoes should match their pant color, and then their socks should match their shoes. And they too should not wear flip-flops or sandals. Men should shave and trim their facial, nose, and ear hair. Hats should not be worn inside buildings except for religious purposes. And shirts should be tucked in. A dress shirt with a tie is most appropriate. For casual work days, polo shirts should be worn. Shirts should not display excessive wear or stains. Inappropriate logos or offensive phrases are not acceptable. Body piercings and tattoos can be seen as unprofessional, and guidelines to follow are nose rings and other piercings, tongue rings and or plugs should not be worn in a professional setting. Piercings and or jewelry on other parts of the body should not be visible at work, and you never wear more than 2 earrings in one ear. And earrings and other jewelry should not draw attention. Body art or tattoos should not be visible at work. So what exactly is business etiquette? Etiquette is the standard of social behavior that should benefit all demographic and economic groups. And we should remember to be courteous at work, which means exercising good manners, consideration, and respect toward others. Make a habit of greeting others in business situations with a professional handshake and a friendly verbal greeting. When shaking hands, do not squeeze the other hand too firmly. Shake the entire hand and not just the person's fingers. Do not place your hand on top of the other person's hand or pat the hand. And if your palms are sweaty, you should discreetly wipe the palm on the side of your hip prior to shaking. An element of success in the workplace involves meeting new people, also known as networking. Some keys to networking are initiating conversation, introducing yourself, making a positive impression, and always make introductions for other individuals who may not know each other. A daily business function is making and keeping appointments. Appointments occur through face-to-face meetings, over the phone, or via internet technologies such as video chat or conferencing. When setting appointments or during appointments, you should be kind to receptionists or gatekeepers. Don't schedule Monday morning meetings. Phone meetings should be quiet and free of distractions. Log into the internet conferences 20 minutes early to check your connection, and arrive for face-to-face meetings at least 10 minutes early, but not any sooner. Using proper dining etiquette is also important in business dealings, and here are some guidelines you should follow. As soon as you're seated, place your napkin on your lap, and if you leave the table, place your napkin to the side of your plate, not on your chair. Do not order anything expensive or messy. Do not order alcohol unless others at your table do so first, and then limit yourself to 1 drink. Do not discuss business matters until everyone has ordered. Offer and serve others bread and beverages at your table first. Utensils are used in order of necessity. As your courses are served, start with the outside and work your way in. Utensils at the top of the plate are there for your dessert. And use your bread and butter plate for a serving of bread and butter. Always offer the last piece of bread and appetizer to others first. When the meal is served, do not begin eating until everyone at your table has been served. And do not eat your meal with your fingers unless it is intended to be eaten that way. Be kind and polite to the staff and servers. Chew with your mouth closed and do not talk with food in your mouth. Don't burp and don't slurp. And when you're finished eating, place your knife and fork together with the blade facing in and the tines up. And when you do not want the server to take your plate away, cross your utensils with the tines facing down. Remember, don't use your cell phone while dining. If you must take a call or text, excuse yourself from the dining table before talking. And don't forget to pay your portion of the bill and properly tip the waitstaff. And if you are the invited guest, offer to pay your portion. And if the host pays the bill, be sure and say thank you. There are proper etiquette techniques to follow for networking during social functions as well. Again, refrain from alcohol, and if you choose to eat, serve yourself a small plate of hors d'oeuvres, and never talk with your mouth full. Lastly, here are some guidelines to help you become a well-respected person in the workplace. You should always have a pleasant attitude, not before entering an office. Put others first, apologize when necessary, don't use profanity, and avoid dominating conversation. At first, business etiquette can seem a bit overwhelming, but with practice, good business etiquette will soon become a habit.